Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's Monday. Can you believe it? We're already on another week. June is nearly gone. How can that happen? But that's what's happening. So I'm just checking that I am live on my page, which I am, which is great. So my name is Anita Mazzero, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Horsham, Victoria, Australia. Today isn't a bad day. It's cool, but we've had some rain again still, which is great. I haven't had days like this for a couple of years, so it's been nice to get the rain, have soggy grass. I know when I was bringing the bins in the nature strip, because our front is on a slope, so it was a bit squishy underfoot. So if you're out there, let me know that you're there so that I know that I'm not just talking to myself, because and I've just dropped things all over the floor. Just bear with me while I pick it all up. Lucky I've done it early enough before just make sure that I haven't missed anything, because it was right where my rubbish bin is. So, of course, it could have ended up in the bin. Oh, dear, I don't know. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my Monday. You know, if you're going to do something, do it properly and do it the wrong way. Just going to open up my iPad as well, because, you know, Facebook have been doing some funny things, and I don't know if the lives are still happening that way. So just to be safe, so I can see comments. All right. So if you're out there, please sing out and say hi so that I know that you're out there, because it's easy enough to happen. So, lots of things to talk about. First of all, our product of the month sold out. Not only here in the South Pacific, but in America as well. I'm not sure about the UK market, but certainly in those two areas. I had a strong feeling as soon as I saw this one, because it was such a cute one, that it would go quick. But I've always said, if you are interested in the product of the month, grab it at the beginning of the month, as soon as it's released, because they will disappear. That there are limited stocks every month. Sometimes they might hang around for another couple of weeks, which means if you've missed it, you can go back and put your $125 order in and pay your $9 to get the product. Hello, Cherry, how are you? So, yeah, don't miss out on it, because once they're gone, they're gone. And when you take into account that each person, demonstrator or customer, can only receive one. So for it to be sold out, with still a good nearly 2 weeks of the June to go, I think that is amazing, because it obviously was extremely popular. I loved it. I was going to use it again today, but of course now that it's sold out, I felt, no, I won't use it, because you can't get it. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera down. There's a bit to talk about, and I will, oops, I'm going to go send that flying once again. Oh my God, talk about being great. Oh, it's Monday. Okay, we'll flip the camera down so we can see the desk. Just one moment. Right, let's zoom in. See my things coming up on Facebook, which is great. So I'll put that out of the way, because you just never know. You don't need to see my ugly face at the side. Right. In my hot little hands is my paper pumpkin. So I'm going to open this one so you can have a look at it, because this is how it comes. shrink wrapped. And I haven't opened it because I only got it on Friday, and it's been one of those weeks where, you know, I've been busy and the weekend was a busy time. Right. So all nicely shrink wrapped to protect your product. So we're not going to make it today. I'm just going to open it and have a look at what, so you can see how it arrives. So again, beautiful blue tissue paper, beautifully wrapped. So we've got a Calypso Coral mini stamp pad. We've got our stamps with a bike and looks like butterflies. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Another butterfly, some flowers, and best wishes. So, get that out. Just move that out of the way. So it comes all, apart from these two items, it's completely shrink wrapped again. So if you haven't gone and thought about Paper Pumpkin, I'll show you in a moment what's available for the next 3 months. So it's worth thinking about. And there's been so many people out there, especially the Americans, who do alternate Paper Pumpkins so that we can have a look at some of the ways. And I have done some alternate with some of the others. Okay, so we've got some twine. We've got some dimensionals and some little butterflies. I'm not sure if they're the brass butterflies, but no, they're just a little white butterfly. Or some of, I don't know if you can see it, they're sort of not quite white, but they're a nice, got a little bit of a tint to it. So everything you need is in your Paper Pumpkin. Oh, the envelopes are pretty. Look at that. Beautiful striped envelopes. These are your die cuts. Beautiful big bikes. Look at that. Then we've got some 3 of the pink. So obviously those two must go together. Wow, look at that. These are die cuts. So they're interesting. And then we've got the greens. So we've got 3 green. So remember, you make 9 cards out of a bundle. And then we've got these, obviously, for our next set, which is the yellow. We've got 3 cards as well for that. And then we've got more die cuts at the bottom. And then you've got your thick piece of cardstock. Now, if you're travelling and you want something firm and you don't have to have a foam mat, you have got this to use. So everything's included into your box. So then we have our instructions. Okay, look at that. Look at those beautiful bikes. So if you've got someone that loves bikes, absolutely beautiful. So you've got the pink, the green and the yellow. Instructions, very easy to read in there so you can see how it's put together. And if you want to, you can go and do something different. You can go rogue. And the back of the information here, what I do is I take this flimsy piece, glue that down there and then put them on top. So I've got all my stamps in with the kit, and then I have a pouch the same as this that I can use. Got a couple of spare ones in the cupboard and I will use them to put these in and keep them all together. So that's the Paper Pumpkin for June. July looks like it's going to be absolutely fabulous. Just move them out of the way. So here's what, oh actually I can show you on a better page. Here's for July. So you've got till the 10th of July to register for it. So beautiful easel cards by the look of them. And I love the flowers, so that should be fun. Then we have in August, Kindred Spirit. Beautiful background here. And then for September, we have these beautiful trees. Beautiful birch trees, by the look of that. I love that. That is gorgeous. And then, of course, if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you can get the dies that are available. And every time they bring out a set of dies, the dies go for 3 months. So as you can see here, the circle is for August, July is these, and September is this. So you can go ahead with what you've got without using these, but this is an add-on that you can get. So it's well worth thinking about it. So if you want some more information, I'm happy to discuss it with you. There are 3 ways to pay for it. You can sign up and pay as you go, which is month by month. So if there's a month you don't want, you need to contact Stampin' Up office before the 10th of the month to cancel a month. And that you don't get charged for it during that month, but that's what happens. Or you can pay for 3 months in advance for $144, 6 months $288, or 12 months $576. So depending on which way you want to go, so you can decide whether you just want to do a trial of 3 months and then decide later on, or you can do your pay as you go or pay even further. So that's worth thinking about if you've not done it before. And it's still new in Australia because we've not had it here and we're still learning and finding out more about it. July, we'll see the July online exclusive products come out, and we will have our scissors back. And this is an old pair. I've lost the sheath and this little part to it. So it's got Stampin' Up all that on there. So it looks exactly the same. But one little detail that and I'll bring this up a bit closer. One little detail that I've noticed, if you look at the tip of the old one, oops, it's sort of poked around, but the tip on the new one is quite a point. So I think that they will be fabulous. They feel exactly the same when I handle them. So I think that what they've gone and done is they've gone and made sure that the product is, because everybody loves these. And so mine have got to the stage I've got to replace them because, yeah, well, there've been places where they shouldn't have been. So I don't mix them up. I'm keeping my new ones completely separate until I can order in July, where I'll be ordering a few more pairs just to have on hand. And I just think they're absolutely fabulous. Sneak peek at a couple of suites that are coming out. So we're going to have Christmas in July. So there's a Christmas suite. There's this beautiful violet suite. And then there's a Halloween suite. So they're coming out. So just pop online and go and have a look, because that's where they are. They're not in a catalogue. They're not anywhere else. I would assume the scissors will move to the catalogue when our new one comes out. So that's what's happening in July, which is not too far away. Right. Our catalogue is always available. So first of all, I want to talk about Stampin' Up have craft classes. And the one this month, which was on Friday, was the Scenic Coast. So the Scenic Coast is this beautiful suite, which I'm going to use today. But this is it. And in the craft class, these were some of the cards that we made. Look at that, using the beautiful shimmer paper, which is this up here. And absolutely gorgeous effect of how this was done. So that was one card. Then we did this card. And we did a lot of watercolouring, so I learnt a lot out of the watercolouring. So I've had a bit of watercolouring happening over the weekend. So there's that. There's that. And then it opens like so. And we've got little lighthouses popped up everywhere. So very different way of doing it. I did make a little mistake, but I'm not going to show you. Then we did this one. And this is using the vellum again, just the shimmer vellum to create the birds, which I thought was a really great idea. And we created this effect. And then just using the stamp to create the look beyond just the focal point, which I thought was a really great idea doing that. So that was really fun. And then we did this one. And this was just using our dauber. Mine went a bit funny in a few places, but hey, this is what the idea of a class is, to learn. So we used the dauber, then we used some blending brushes underneath a piece of the vellum to create a very different card, but nothing to do with the boats and lighthouses or anything else like that. Even this ray was just beautifully of how we put the sequins to give it a bit more of an effect. So definitely I learned a lot about and how these colours actually do all blend beautifully together. So that was something that was worth, learning. And every little thing that we can learn helps us. But today, as I said, this is the suite I'm going to use. So I've got, this is the suite. So you got this Sunset Coast stamp set and dies. It does not come like this. I've labelled it because my eyesight, it's shocking to read this little print, but I believe the newer ones will have this across the top. So don't ever forget that. So that when that comes back in, I'm really grateful because I could easily see the two. So as you can see, there's some lovely ones. And I did see someone use this rock formation as a tomb over East, to make an Easter card. I thought it was a brilliant idea. So it says, wherever this note finds you, wishing you a lifetime of joy, the adventure continues, you brighten my day, happy anniversary, happy retirement. We don't see many retirement ones, which is great. Congratulations, and I hope it finds you happy. Now those three, or any of these sentiments with this, I hope you find it finds you happy, it's a great little inside card. So it's lovely. And the dies do these beautiful cutouts. You've got the net, you've got clouds, you've got boats, you've got the rock formation, you've got a fence, and you've got shells and seagulls. So absolutely brilliant. You've got shimmer paper, which I have not got close handy, so I'm not going to die for them at the moment. You've then got this paper. I forgot about the shimmer paper. And this is a pack of 48 sheets. And there are 6 designs. And look at the colours. Aren't they beautiful? And I don't know if it shows up, if you can see the wobble. It's got like a PV backing over it. It's absolutely beautiful. The reverse side. There's another one. Again, it's got that all the way through it. Got the blue. And then this one's got absolutely gorgeous colouring. You got the purple. You got this one. And this one's different because this one doesn't have a sunset or whatever. It's very different, but beautiful. And you've got the purple and white. Then you've got this one. And it's got the blue and white, so that could be used just on that side. And then you've got this one, which is, again, does not have a sunset in it. And you've got the yellow. So how nice are they? So that's the one I plan to use today. Move them out of the way. Then also you get some sequins. So they come in clear, cloud cover, which looks very blue, Timid Tiger, and Strawberry Slush. So there's some great dyes in there. And what I found, now for the, very remiss of me, The suite costs $160 for 2 paper packs, sequins, and these. The bundle on its own is worth $98, or if you just want the stamp set, $44, or if you just want the dies, that's $65. So it's well priced. The beauty of this, it does match. You can use this with the Waterside Retreat because I've used the bird out of this. It also matches one of our others, suite, and one of our paper pumpkin. Get it out. So there's a lot of mix and match, and I think, you know, we need to use the mix and match because it's there for us. Okay. Now my pieces that went flying everywhere, I've got back. So this is what I'm going to do today. Is I've pre-die cut some things so that it doesn't wobble everywhere over here. So I've got a piece of white cardstock, 21 centimetres by 14.9, and I've scored it at 10.5. So we'll give that a good burnish because I've just folded it. Then I've got a piece of Night of Navy, pick it up, 10 centimetres by 14.4. So I've just gone down 0.5. That'll be our layer. Then I'm going to cut from this, which I won't do just yet because I need to work it out. So I've got this, and we will decide where it's going to go. So I've cut this piece 9.5 by 13.9 because I'm going to do some colouring on this, and then when I've done the colouring, we're going to decide we can go up, we can go down, we can go wherever we want. Now, if you want to, which I did the first time, I die cut a circle, and it works fine, and you'll see that a bit later. Then I just tried a little strip, but then I found that it's easier to stick if I've got the size and I know exactly how it's going to fit. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to do some colouring with this part here, and this is from another one that I was playing with, and I was doing some colouring, and of course it went on to, I tried just using the die. It didn't work. Oh dear, Cherry. Okay, we'll catch you later. So I'm using this circle, and I'm decided I'm using it upside down because that's, I cut there, but it's a bit crooked. So we're going to pop this into place for the die cut, for the colouring of the bottom, so I can keep that circle effect nice and neat and having it belong properly within the reins. And then, as I said, I used that Waterside Retreat to cut it out. I stamped in grey granite 3 of these seagulls. There is a seagull stamp in it, and I'll, which we used in one of the cards from the thing. These 3 little fine ones, but I just wanted something a little bit stronger for this particular card because I felt they would have got lost. So let's get some colouring done. So I've got some, I'm going to use grey granite. I'll just make sure I've got the right ones. Some dark and light grey granite. Grab a scrap of paper, because I will need a scrap of paper for that. And I've got the colour lifter, but I'm using the colour lifter in a different way. So I'll get my light. I always like to start with the light and then add the dark, and then I'll go over with the light to create the look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just at the top here, I'm just going to put a little bit of dark coming onto the lighthouse, a bit more on here, just coming onto the lighthouse, and this is why I needed a bit of paper underneath. Coming through, just bring the light, coming down here, making sure I caught it nicely. And then I'm just going to just bring it across like so. And then I'm going to grab the dark. I'm just going to put a little line of dark around down here, just coming down, coming across, and then I'll go back over with my light, not too far, just enough. So I'm trying to give that look of making it the lighthouse very round. Hello, Lucia, welcome. So then we're just going to, I'm just using the colour lifter because I want it to be, because your lighthouse isn't grey. So I'm just popping some colour lifter and it will eventually, whoops, bleed the colour across. So I'm just making sure it comes across. And by colouring it in, oh, squeaky this one. Right, why is it doing it while I'm on live? Hello Sharon, how are you? Welcome. So we're using the Scenic Coast Suite today. And I'm just bringing that colour across. So by using the colour lifter, it will help drag that dark and light grey granite across to give it that, creating that curve that we're trying to get out of a flat piece of paper. Oh, get my words right. Okay, so I've got some dark smoky slate. So I'm just going to put that up here, just across this part here, because just getting that. So if I take it away from, you'll see what I mean. It's just a little bit of colour. And you can see, even since I've been talking while we've been doing that, that has already moved that colour to create that look. So now I'm going to work on the house, and I'm going to get the light, and I'm just putting a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, mainly sort of where the bottom of the crevice, if you'd like to call it, the wave. I'm just going to put some here. So that should be enough there. Get a little bit of the dark. And I need to be careful here. So I'm just putting the dark down here because I just want to create that shadow in there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of colour, make the chimney a little bit darker, and leave the rest. Come back with the light and just blend it into place. So as you can see, I'm just using it a little bit. And by doing it a second time too, I've also created a different depth of colour. So now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to blend that out using the colour lifter, because the colour lifter is wetting my cardstock and creating that look. So I'll lift that again so you can see the house there, just like that. So this will have dried now, and I'm going to take my dark grey granite, and I'm just going to, where these lines are, just pop that dark look across there. So what do you think? Do you think that looks all right? So that's the look I was going for. So now I need to decide, before I do anything down here, where I'm going to cut the paper from. So I was thinking I probably could go a little bit further over. I might just sit that like so. I like that with the sun going down, having that there. Maybe a little, see, I could go like that, but then it's crooked. So that's maybe just a fraction lower. Yeah. Because this, remember, this is the, this will be a rock formation. So yeah, that'll work out fine. So I'm going to grab some, this is going to test me because it's, thanks Lucia. I'm taking up your challenge of doing some colouring. I'm not very good at it, but I'm having a go. So along here, this is, to me, it's going to be rocks, because if you look where Lighthouse is, it's where there are rocks. So I'm going to get some light crumb cake, and I'm going to take my circle. I'm going to just pop that. I did try it with a die, but as you saw on the back side of this, it does lift. So I'm going to grab a bit of washi tape because I want this to hold in place while I'm doing it. So I'll just sit that there. And I might put another piece just there. This way the whole thing is staying put. Well, that's my aim, is for it to stay put. So I've got the, oh, that's the dark. I want the light, not the dark. Okay, why have I got two dark crumb cakes? That's not going to be to my advantage. Righto, I'm going to have to think a little bit differently. All right, I might use, this is SU700. Not a lot of colour in that, is there? I can colour on there. No, that's okay, 700. Yeah, I think that will work. So I'm just going to colour in the light. So I do plan to go add some other colours. Probably this won't be too bad for what I want to do now that I'm using it. But it looks like I am out of crumb cake. It's another one I've got to add to my list. It's always surprising when you go to do something that you discover you've run out. Or, so I'm just going around this line because that's where I want as my outside. So I'm putting all this colour down. And as you can see, it's just giving a nice, you've got to be very, very careful because it will easily bend and break. Just going to pop that down. Oh, Sharon, I'm glad I'm giving you enough tips. I'm glad that's helpful for you. So we'll take a little bit of dark crumb cake, and I'm just going to, around the side of the, and down the bottom here, around near the house, because that's sort of shadowy. Pop that in there, and just come, and I'm just going to really add some colour down around the bottom. I'm going to be a bit spasmodic with it because it's a rock formation that I'm trying to give. So just creating a bit of colour in there, a little bit of colour in there. And then I've got some SU700, which is a dark colour. So So again, I'll come in here and I'll put some colour. I'm just going to add it across to create some darkness. Because if you look at rocks, they're not 100% all one colour. I'm just putting some colour in here. And then I'm going to add some Mossy Meadow, because we do have, like, they develop moss. So I'm just going to add some colour in there to create. I'm just going to add a bit where I want it. And it looks a mess, I know. I'll pop that in there. Put more dark in this bottom area. And then I'm going to take my colour lifter again, and I'm going to use this to blend all those colours together, so it looks more natural rather than higgledy-pickledy. And so the alcohol from the colour lifter is going to shift it around and create that look. It's getting a bit dry that side. Might be easier if I use this. And it doesn't squeak. And it's a little bit easier. I've always liked to use the fine tip because I feel I have more control over it. So just very gently and carefully create the colour. Clear the brush. So it looks a bit of a mess, but if I lift that carefully, you'll see that it's created that, and there it is there. So it's the idea of having a look, you know, nature being nature. It's never blank one colour. So by creating that grassy knoll and got bits of sand and bits of grass, it's looking, yeah, it tones down the colour. So I have often used the colour lifter just to blend it, and then it also, as you say, tones it down, and it just gives it another look. So that's what I've done there. So there's the colouring for that. Now we'll take this and we'll look, and I still think I like that. Yeah, I think that looks, what do you think? I think that helps bring that green out, because you can see the water coming, like little rock pools coming in the middle here, and then the beautiful sunlight. We could go up a little bit and take it a bit more this way, which I think I like that. Yeah. So what I'll do is, that's about, so we'll cut that to 10 centimetres. Take it this way around. Cut that away. Keep this piece because we can use it. And then I'll go 1 millimetre smaller than what I want, because this piece here is 9.5 by 13.9. I'm having it just that little bit lower to fit in underneath, because I don't want it sticking out. So I'll go 9.4, trim that bit off there, and then we were going to keep the top. And I'll go down to 13.9, 13.8. It's just that 1 millimetre back. Take that piece. Don't throw that away because we can use it. Don't throw any of your little pieces away. So now I've got this in here, so it allows me to move it around. So when you see the paper like that, look at that. What do you think? Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, so that just gives it that lovely soft feel of, and its depth going through into the, looking through a telescope. So I'm going to now glue this around the edges. Keep this flat. Down in there. And I'll just pop some glue around the circle. And then just very lightly add some glue where the lighthouse is and the little house. Carefully lift that up and pop that in place. And as you can see, by having it that 1 millimetre smaller each, like top and bottom, just allows for that little bit of leeway room. That's just shifted there. Thankfully for liquid glue, I can shift that back in its place. So it's not a lot of room. I just went a little bit off kilter. And it was only a fraction. There we go. Look at that. So there's that seam. So what I might do now is I'm going to glue, I've got just a, rather than try and struggle with it, I will trim that out. It just didn't want to behave itself for me, so I'll just carefully trim that, probably a fraction of a millimetre, that decided to slide itself over. And that's the beauty of having it underneath as a full piece, which I found was a lot easier to work with than just using a small piece. Right. That's better, because you could see it through the thing. So pop some glue on. And I just realised I should be stamping it before I do anything further. No, I think I might grab a spare piece of white. I have got tons of scraps, so I'm going to see what the scraps have got for me. There's a piece of white. Look at that. I think we might change my mind on what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stamp on the white. Right. I'm going to look at, I think I might just do that. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I think I might stamp on the navy and fussy cut it rather than just a tag. Just bear with me as I grab my navy. Thankfully, it's not too far away. A bit on the fly here now. Got a scrap piece, which is perfect. I think I'll put wherever this note finds you, and then in the inside we'll put, I hope it finds you happy. And that can be for anyone, that one. So let's just pull this one off. Just sit it onto the glass mat so it relaxes. Grab my block and pick it up. Lucia, Annie has disappeared on me. She's probably somewhere to hiding because she's so skinny. So I've got my new one out. So I haven't figured a name for this one yet. We're going to have to give it a name. So I've just got to think of a name for this one. And then she'll be fine. All right, so I've got that on there. I'll get my Versamark and stamp. Sentiment. I'll pop that. I didn't plan to do this part of it. You know what it's like. We start one way and end another. And that's the beauty of crafting, that we don't actually start the way we originally planned. So we'll just pop some beautiful couple of strays. Let's put that out of the way. And my Take Your Pick tool has one walkabout. Where did it hide? Move these out of the way. Knowing me, I've knocked it somewhere. I've got my little brush to clean up, but I wanted to get those little ones that were tucked right inside there. Thankfully, I have two. So I'm just going to use the putty end to pull away any of these little strays that just happen to be near where I want to cut. Now you'll have a little bit of noise. Clump. Is that what you're going to call your new one, is it? Or is that what mine should be called? Yeah. I must admit, handling one that's nice and thick is very different to the way Annie was. She was very anorexic. So we're just going to get this to emboss. And the beauty of heat embossing is just the miracle of watching it change colour to this bright, vibrant white. And my white's getting to the end, which has got lots of strays from different, papers that I've used it for. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And you see how it didn't quite go everywhere? So when it's dry, I'm going to grab one of our gel pens. Because especially when you're using white, the gel pen will allow you to pick this up. So you get it in a pack of two. You get 2 gel pens. And they weren't expensive, let's put it that way. So when you're using the gel pen, don't try and hurry. You need to use it slowly. So I'm just going to carefully mark that where I can see. You can see there just on the W how I fixed that up. And you would not know that that was not heat embossed. So I'm just going to pick up these few. I'm due for a new white, which I'll have to order in at my next order. Because this one, I can see all the bits of fibres that have come off from different colours. And I don't know about anybody else, but I find that the darker colours seem to throw off more fibres, or maybe because you see it in the white. Right, just about got that there. There's another little tip if you find that your embossing didn't quite go the way you were going. Just pull out your gel pen. There we go. Look at that. All done, dusted. It looks so much better than what it did before. But don't do anything with it for a while. Let the gel dry. So put that away. Put this away. Okay, we've glued that together. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. Now that I've decided to fussy cut the label, I don't need to do anything further. So I'm just going to get I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I'm ordering my dimensionals every order. I think I order 2 or 3 packets at a time, but I'm surprised how much I use within a month. It is incredible. Well, I couldn't find it before. I'd already put it back. All right, let's take off. Now remember, if you've never seen this before, the end of your take your pick tool, whether it's the dental pick or whether it's the normal one, just stab and flip and you get all of them off, no trouble at all. And yes, Lucia and I both watched the same lady who didn't know, had never used one before. Now what I'm going to do, and this is another little tip, Sharon, if you haven't seen it before, I'm just putting some glue on the back of the dimensionals. And you might say, why are you putting glue on the dimensionals? They'll stick. And that's the exact reason why. They will really stick. This allows it to be the same as when you're using the other. You have so many dimensionals, you use them too. Yeah, so you're probably like me, ordering it all the time. Right, let's make sure I've got this the right way. And I'm going to pop this in place. Just get it right. Pop that in. A little bit of wiggle room. So you can see I'm able to wiggle it around. And bingo. Because I was able to wiggle it around, I've got it in place. Oh, I'm liking that today. So I've got 3 little birds here. So I'm going to use my glue dots for this. So these, as I said, these birds came from the relaxing waterside, or from the waterside retreat. I think it was the waterside retreat. Because I liked these seagulls better than the ones that came with it. And you're not restricted for one particular suite. So don't ever think that you have to use just that one suite. So I reckon we'll pop one just sitting there. And grab the next one. You might have to bend it a little bit. And we'll pop one up there. And one more to go. And I did play with a few more of these beforehand, so I can show you those in a moment. So pop this one just up there. There we go. So this should be dry enough now that I can fussy cut it. Just check that it is. Now, a fraction longer, that's all right. What we'll do is for the inside, I've taken a piece of this. And I'm going to glue that at the bottom here. And then we'll stamp. I hope it finds you happy. Going to pop that down in there. I'm not worried that it doesn't go all the way because it's a piece that was left over. I thought it was easier. Some of the others I used a piece at the side, so this time I'm going to do it this way. And we'll dig that one up. In case you're wondering, this is how I do my stamps. We get the small clear, but what I do is I've got some window sheets, piece of white cardstock, which I cut pretty much to the size of this, and then I lay them as they are on the cover. And I use my stamp positioner to lay them all out and then pick them up and stick them on there. And by having it just that little bit larger, I'm not squashing them all up, and they're all there ready for me to use. Right, go and get block. Hope this finds you happy. And I think Secret Sea, my favourite. I rarely use black anymore. I'm glad you enjoyed that tip, Sharon. And we'll just pop. Hope it finds you happy. Just there like that. And I'm thinking, just while I was stamping that, I've got this bit of water here. I might grab the larger of the boats. Why not? We're just going to pop a boat. Just to make it finish a little bit inside. Right, now we should be right to do the last thing, and we'll pop this on with dimensionals. So just fussy cut. Just go around the edge. Remember, when you're fussy cutting, don't use the scissors, use the paper to guide your way around. When I've got a word that's pretty straight, I just wiggle the paper a bit so it creates a little bit of a wave, so it mimics a little bit of what's happening there. May not be perfect, but it works for me. So just go around and we'll take that off. And then I'll come around this, come up, let them sit a bit up, just like so. Now, if I thought of this earlier, I would have saved you time by watching it, by having it pre-cut. But that's what happens. So if I get there, let's cut this carefully. Just come in there like so. There we go. Done. I'm going to pop that on dimensionals. And I know I just had the dimensionals. I've moved them again. I'll find it later on. That's all right. I'll just use these ones. I think before I put all the dimensionals on, we might grab a little bit of twine. And I know it's a mail card, but we can put a bit of twine on it. I'm not going to put a bow, so some tear and tape, and I'm going to just lay that in here. And lift that up. Just pop it in place. Pop a little bit up here. Stop moving on me. Twine has a mind of its own, but that's all right. Bit more of an angle. There we go. Take the backings off. Put them away. And I'll pop that just like so under there. Then we'll get the gems. I think the strawberry slush ones would go really nice because they sort of go well with that. So I'm going to get them and pick them up. We'll pop one there. One there. I might do 5 on this one. Put one there. Another big one just up there. One there. And one down there. So both my 5s, both my 3s, so you can see there's one triangle and there's the other triangle. So there we go. There's the card. Now I'll show you ones that I've done before. So I did one just using the base. So none of these have got the same piece underneath. So we've got different pieces. So we've got that one. And there where I did some clouds and the birds. Then I did this one where I did the colouring. And here I used the stamp to create that effect like the orange is going through. And then this one I wanted that night look. And I've created that look, which is very stormy looking with the birds in the background. So there's our cards for today. So with these, as you can see, I've used the side panels. That one I put a piece down the bottom, a little bit of purple there, and there's another side panel. So there we go. There's the cards for today, and I hope you enjoy them. So they're a little bit different, and yeah, and yeah. If you wanted to keep all the little white bits when you're cutting out in white, you could then pop them in the middle, and they could look like the spray from the waves coming up. So you could carefully pop them in. But my suggestion, if you do that, cut out on a piece of adhesive sheet. So the whole lot is adhesive, or just make sure that this area is adhesive so that you can keep all those little bits. What I did for this one, I just put a piece of paper in here and cut it in a way so that it was there, and then just cut a piece of paper under the yellow to create the night look of the lighthouse. So there's different ways to do different things. So this is what you can do. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I've had fun making it for you and showing you something different with the Scenic Lighthouse. Well, see, it's not Scenic Lighthouse, it's Scenic Coast. So, but it's a lot of fun. So hopefully I will see you again next Monday, same time, same spot, same time, same place, 1:30 on Facebook. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Lucia. I'm glad you've enjoyed it both. So I'll catch you all next time. Bye.